In today's video, we're going to go over the canter depart. Yesterday, we focused on the elements to prepare your horse for the canter. And so in that video, we focused all on what are the things it takes to get your horse ready for the canter. And I've worked on those again. I went through, did some counter shoulder in and get some nice rhythm going here with the trot. And so I'm just going to go out and do a little bit of that and then kind of show you what are the elements it takes to get ourselves right to pick up the canter, because yesterday's video we focused on getting the horse right, but now I want to help you set yourself up, because for a lot of folks the canter depart, the canter itself is a big deal. It's scary for people. And there's multiple reasons for that. Is, for one, it's a lot faster. The other is because it's 3-beat, and the 3-beat has a little bit of an odd rhythm to it when the horse canters. And so that odd rhythm, we have to learn to go with it. And it takes a bit of time for our bodies to kind of settle into that. And so that can bring a lot of tension in when we go from here, we're just trotting, and then when we go pick up the canter, so trotting is 2-beat, and it's an easier rhythm to be with, where the canter is a 3-beat, and there's a bit of a rotation going. So we have to be able to flow with that. Because it's faster, our tendency is to grip a little bit more, get tighter, but really we need to stay open and allow our pelvis to rock forward. So when the horse picks up that lead, this inside comes up and underneath, and our pelvis, our seat, has to be able to absorb that. What we tend to do is when we pick up the canter, is we kind of go forward a little bit, we grip, and then we want to do this with our hands. And then the horse is pushing. Let's turn him a little bit here. So if I'm picking up his right lead, the horse is striking off with the outside hind, but the inside hind has to come way up and underneath. His back rolls up under my seat, and if we're gripped right here, as he pushes up underneath, it pushes up us out of the saddle, and then we come back down. And that's why your seat disconnects from the saddle, because the horse, as they pick the canter up, throws you up and out of the saddle, because we're up and forward here and we're kind of tight, and we're usually gripping with our legs, and then we do this. But if we can get to where, if I'm picking up the right lead, I'm going to shift my weight slightly to the outside. I bring my outside leg back slightly, and when I'm ready to ask for the canter, I'm just going to do a little slight lift with my inside leg to say, and now. When he picks the canter up, since I'm back and open, as he thrusts forward with this inside hind, this thrust will be absorbed in my hip. My hip's allowed to roll forward with that, where if I'm more here, it's really hard to allow my hip to roll forward. What it's going to do is just thrust my whole body forward. So that's a big key, is to get back, get your tummy, allow your tummy to open, get it longer. And even if you need to really exaggerate, sometimes if you really exaggerate, and then as the horse picks up the canter, your seat can come forward like this, opposed to if you're here, your whole body has to kind of go up and down. But when you're back, as they thrust forward, you can just get absorbed there. And that's going to really help you get in a much better place. The better position you're in is going to help your horse. And by you shifting your weight to the outside and lifting a little bit here, also helps to keep the horse from falling in on the shoulder. And that's what yesterday's video was all about, is getting the horse to round and engage that inside hind, come through his rib cage, pick up the shoulder. And if we're sitting out and back slightly, and then we lift and we're soft in our pelvis and we absorb that motion, now it's much easier for your horse to pick up that lead. But if you're forward and gripping on, and then as the horse picks up and now you're getting thrown out of the saddle and slamming back down, that's going to be way more work for your horse to have to deal with throwing that weight up and then it coming back down on his back. So those are some of the ideas of what we need to do to prepare our horse. And I know, you know, the canter is a big deal for a lot of us. As the horse gets faster, our tendency is to get tighter. And that's why we spend so much time preparing our horse for the canter. We're getting them balanced, and we're also getting ourselves soft and relaxed and going with our horse. So just like yesterday, I want to get a nice circle going here. If the horse falls in a little bit, I'm going to just shift my weight out. And if he falls out, I'm going to shift my weight in. But he's more just kind of falling in slightly there, right as we come into the corner. He falls out a little bit here, so there he wants to die out. So I just help him a little bit and shift my weight to the outside. That's nice. So here he's feeling really nice. So now I'm going to use the circle. We've been trotting the circle. Now let's use the circle to help prepare to pick that canter up in the geometry of the circle. So where I'm riding in the corner here, I'm going to pick up the canter as I come to the rail right about here. The reason for that is the horse tends to drift out a little bit. So as I'm coming around, the horses tend to drift out here a little bit, which can be a good thing because that helps to pick the shoulder up. And then right about here, as I'm coming into the fence, is when I'm going to ask for the canter. So I'm just going to talk that through here. So I'm coming around. He drifts out to the outside a little bit, and I prepare, and I'm going to ask right here. I didn't this time, I'm just telling you. So I'm waiting for him to be right, but I'm going to start preparing for the canter here. So I shift my weight to the outside, and there he just fell in and kind of took off. So I'm like, thanks for the effort, thanks for paying attention to me that I asked for the canter. But if you're just going to fall in and take off, we're going to come back to the trot and get a nice trot circle again. So again, I'm just going to prepare. How many laps I have to do depends on where he's at. If he's ready for it, I can do it. If he's not, I'm just going to keep trotting. So there he thought about, he's like, oh, I know you're going to ask for the canter. He's not quite ready. And I don't mind that the horse starts going, oh, you're asking for the canter in the same spot here all the time. That helps them to prepare. What I do mind is them taking off on their own. They have to wait for me. Yeah, there you see, got softer in my hands, a little more round. So if we can keep that, I'm going to shift my weight to the outside here and ask. And there he kind of took off again. His feet kind of went every which way. So I just bring him right back, set him up again. So I'm not going to ask more than that. If he's all discombobulated, there's no sense in asking for more canter. So I just get it soft and together again. There, that's nice. And yeah, better. And see how he's not wanting to just run off because he picked up from a more balanced place. It's not perfect by any means. And there he's getting a little bit up. So I just bring him back before he really wants to take off. The canter is so individual for every horse. With him, I could let him, you know, he gets a little bit hot when he gets the canter on this lead. So I could just let him go around the arena. And I feel okay to ride that. But most of you aren't going to feel comfortable to ride that. So it's better when you have a horse that's kind of hot when you pick the canter up, is to just bring him back again, set him up again. And oftentimes, and that's the case with him, is what I'm referring to as a little bit hot. He actually isn't that hot of a horse. It's more he gets out of balance and then he gets faster because he's out of balance. And that's where I'm going to just say, bring him back, come on back, and let's set it up and do it again. Because you can get the horses going out there and just tearing around, and they get faster and faster and more out of balance and more out of balance. Yes, eventually they can kind of fix that, but most people aren't going to really want to ride that, so it's better just to bring them back, get the trot nice, and then set it up and do it again. So we'll go back and do that same lead here again now. Is just get a nice trot going. And the other thing too is use whichever corner is gonna best help you. So depending on where my horse drifts to, falls in, I might change up the corners some. So like I could ride into this corner, and as I come around now, when I come towards C, that's when I would ask for the canter, when my horse is ready. He's still falling in a little bit here, so I just shift my weight out a little, get that band, get him coming through his rib cage. He's falling in there. Because he's starting to kind of figure out, okay, when I shift my weight out, he's going to ask for the canter, and then he kind of dives in, and I just want him to stay upright. There, good boy. Okay, this feels pretty good, so I'm going to prepare for the canter, shift my weight out, and ask with my inside leg. And there, he's all discombobulated, so I bring him back down. Because when he went to canter off, he was discombobulated in the hind. He actually wanted to pick up the other lead, and that's why he kind of hopped up a little. a little bit of a kick out. So it wasn't a mental thing. He wasn't being disrespectful. It was more of a, I don't think I can pick that lead up coming through. Hey, this is pretty nice here. I'll wait for another lap. And that's the other thing is sometimes their feet kind of get tangled up and they'll throw a little buck in there, so it's not a mental thing. It's more of a supple strength balance issue. This feels pretty good, so I'm going to prepare, shift my weight out, and come on, nice. Really happy with that. See, now that was really good because he cantered off balanced and he was real slow, and he's like, oh, do I really want to go? And then he died out himself there, which is okay. I don't mind that at this stage. Because he left out so nice, I'm going to give him that and just let him have that and say, hey, that's all I'm looking for, is just a nice relaxed canter depart. And we'll give him a few moments here, just let him have that, and then we'll do the other lead. All right, so I've given him a few minutes here just to kind of chill out. We walked around a little bit. And now we'll pick up the other lead here. So I'm gonna go off, get on my circle again, get my horse nice and balanced. So is he rhythmic? Is he balanced? Hey, that's pretty nice. And now, as I come around towards the fence, that's when I'm gonna start to prepare. I'm actually gonna start to prepare here by shifting my weight out a little bit, bring my outside leg back, prepare, and touch in there. He fell in, and then he took off. Because he dropped in on his shoulder, and then he was like, I'm just out of here. Because he was way out of balance. And then he was just like, the heck with this, I'm just leaving. And then I just pick up, bend him, and bring him right back, and we'll set it up again. And that I probably shouldn't have, I should have, as soon as he fell in, I should have just said, no, just come right back. So here, yeah, he's nice there. We'll wait one more time around. Getting him nice and soft, so this is good. So I'm going to shift my weight out, prepare, and ask. And bring him back, because he wanted to just kind of fall in again. And then, you know, he picked it up, and I think he'd have been better than last time, but he still really kind of fell in. And I want him just staying upright. Stay balanced, stay soft. The canter depart doesn't have to mean bolting off or this big huge thing. And I'm gonna ride to the other side here and just use the other corner just to change it up a little bit. He's kind of getting in a pattern of just falling in right there as we come to see. So I'm going to change it here a little. He wants to drift out this way, which is okay. I'm going to use that and ask. Now I leave him. So I ask, so I shift my weight out. Come on, bring my outside leg back, and then I touch with my inside leg. He didn't respond, so that's my cues. And I'm gonna do that a couple times. If he still doesn't respond, then my whip shows up. I don't get firmer with my body. I'm gonna insist with the whip. So we're preparing, shift my weight out, use my inside leg, and touch. And then he kind of got fast, he got bracy, and I just bring him right back again. Setting him up. Getting a nice rhythm here. Yeah. So I shift my weight out, prepare, and ask. Yeah. So right as I touched him with my inside leg, I touched him with the whip too to say, hey, this does mean something. See, and this is a nice canter because he cantered off from a balanced place. Now I'm going to soften back down. Good boy. And can he go right back into a nice relaxed trot without being all hot and bothered? So many of you are going to find you do one little canter stretch like that, you're going to have to come back and spin 5-10 laps at the trot again, because now your horse is like, oh, you asked for me to canter, now I just want to go, go, go. And you're going to say, nope, wait on me, stay relaxed. This is nice. Shift my weight out, and yes. I just touched him with my inside leg a little there and canter off, and that was good. Didn't even have to touch him with the whip. And soften back down, and he comes back with me. So I really like that. This is nice because you're getting to see him, you know, when he was out of balance, you know, how he kind of just took off. When he stayed in balance, picked up the canter from a balanced place, how much more relaxed he was in the canter. And that's really what we're looking for. So I'm going to walk him a little bit, and then we're going to do the other lead again to see, okay, can you go back and do that side? Because it's interesting, in some ways this lead is a little harder. He's actually a little less responsive this way. I have to get a little firmer, but he tends to be a bit more balanced. He comes through a little more. He's just like, says, no, I don't want to. Where this way here, the right lead, he's not as balanced with it. He's not flexing and coming through his body as easy. So each lead, and you're going to find that with your horse too, is one lead's going to be easier than the other. We're not really having an issue of picking up the correct lead, so that you know, can be addressed in other ways, but what we're doing here will really help with that. So if you're still having issues getting the correct lead, and in another video, if I get a horse that has that issue, we'll address that. But a lot of what we're doing here will fix that also. So I'm just getting him nice and soft and round here at the walk, and I pick up the trot. Same thing, getting him relaxed and using himself well. Yeah. And I'm going to ride to the other corner. He seems to be liking it better doing it in this corner. So this is nice. He's soft. So I'm going to prepare by shifting my weight out. There he kind of fell in, so I'm just going to abandon him, say, nope, let's wait another circle here. Take notice of my body too. So I'm not leaning forward and my hands aren't going like that. I'm keeping my body quiet, shift my weight out, get the bend, and up there he fell in, so I just like, hey, stay upright. Good. And prepare, and nope, there he started to fall in right when I asked. So I say, no. And another common thing I see people do when they use the corner here to pick up the canter is they wait too long to set him up. So they start preparing about here, and then they ask right about here, and the horse is already leaving the corner. So you don't have the help of the rail there. So I want you to prepare in the open area, and before you get to the fence, you ask. Yeah. That was pretty nice. A little bit of a hop there. But again, that was that stiffness in his body. So I'm gonna just set it up and we'll try that one more time. Yeah, and oh, almost. I liked how he stayed more upright there. Good. Keeping his shoulder up. Just doing another circle here. Shift my weight out. Prepare and ask. Hey. So he's wanting to not engage. That's why that hop up there. And then he kind of wanted to take off a little bit. And we're about at the point of that might be the best we get here today. I'm going to try one more time, see if he gives it to me. If not, we'll just leave it, because we're at the point of diminishing return, and that's what happens with the canters. If you want to find a good place, and then if you keep going, a lot of times they'll get worse. And so with him, I'm just taking a little bit more here because I want to progress him a little bit. But if he's like, oh, that's about all I can do today, then I'm going to leave him alone. So I'm just riding the trot here a little longer, really saying get soft, get relaxed. Yeah, prepare, and yeah. And what's really cool, every time he picks up a nice relaxed canter, he stays relaxed and he's not wanting to just muscle and run off. And like there, and he actually gets lazy and he's like, oh, do I really have to canter? And then he wants to come back. So I'm going to leave him with that because that was really good. You know, he found it. And if I keep going here, then it's just going to get worse. So it's always a balancing act of asking a little bit more than what you have been, but not going too far or doing too much to where they revert back to their old habits, their old ways, old patterns, just because they're getting tired and fatigued. And that is so individual with each horse. You kind of just have to feel that out. It's better if you err on the side of doing a little too little than doing too much with this. So I hope that helps you out with some of the canter depart work, getting that. I know we covered a bunch of stuff here with this video, but he's being a really good student with that and getting to show a lot of stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.